Hey guys, TJ here. Welcome to my shop. So today we're going to be doing a short video on fixing my CBX. It's called the CBX Shooting Star Technologies digital readout scale for the Y-axis on my Bridgeport. So I found an issue with my X-axis on when I took it off to do the swing arm modification and repair on the KX85. That's in a previous video. What was happening for quite a long time, a couple of years maybe, or even longer than that, since I moved the Bridgeport into my barn shop from my garage, probably in 2020, I started having a problem. The problem was every time I would set zero and everything, lock the quills, lock the X and Y axis, and I would zero it out, and then I would turn the machine on, and my X axis would move probably a half a thou to a thou. And every time I turned it on and off, it would increment a 2/10, 3/10, and it would really throw me off in my regards to accuracy on where I was. So I really didn't know where I was in the relationship. You know, I was questioning myself, did the axis really move, or is it just a fault of the scale itself? So when I took off the X-axis scale to get the swing arm on the table, I noticed that one of the ends of the blocks here, where it screws into the knee, in this case it screws into the knee on the Y-axis, one of the blocks was loose. It was moving back and forth like this, very slightly. I mean, very, very slightly, and it wasn't tight. So every time you turn the motor on, the vibration would actually give a false sense of the scale moving. It may have been moving, I'm not really sure. So as you can see, I thought it was electrical interference, so I even tried to make a shielding wire for it. That didn't help. I tried different outlets to plug it in to get away from my three-phase converter I have, but I still was having a problem. So I kind of found this issue by mistake. When I took the X-axis scale off, I noticed that one of the ends was loose. So what I did is, one of these blocks is secure, and I'll bring it closer in a second. One of these blocks is secure with a roll pin. The other one is not. And it just, this bolt screws into the knee with these standoffs right here. Again, I'll bring it closer and show you. And it never was locked in or tight. So I think when you install it, you're supposed to drill it and put a roll pin here. So I'm going to be doing that to this. I did, when I bought this many years ago, when my friend who worked for Bridgeport Machines came over and took the old scale off. It was old glass scale. Took that off and installed this for me while I was doing something else. And I think he just Loctited it in here. No fault to him, because I'm not sure that we knew to even put a roll pin in there. Just a simple roll pin to lock it down. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to show you how when I drill it for the roll pin, I'm not going to drill this bar. This bar is made of brass actually, because I need to get the exact location where it screws into the knee itself. So what I'll do is I'll mock everything up on the Bridgeport. I'll drill where I need to be in the square block here, and then I'll mock it all up with this thing connected into the knee itself, and I'll hand drill through this piece here and then put the roll pin in. So hopefully it will be secure, because I just did my X-axis, and my X-axis was the worst. It would move all the time. This only moved, the Y-axis only moved certain amount of times. It didn't move all the time you turn the machine on and off. But every single time my X-axis would move. So I tested it yesterday, and it's fixed. I've tried it 100 times on and off. It does not move. It'll stay exactly where it's supposed to be. Either it be zero or the position you're on. So next scene, I'll show you a close-up of this, what I'm going to do, and I'll get this silly shielding off because it doesn't do anything, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's the Star Technologies scale for the Y-axis digital readout. How this mounts, this mounts on this bracket that attaches to the table, and so that floats, that moves with the table, and these mount to, these blocks mount to the knee here with these standoffs. So you could see that this is just a rack and pinion package, and you could see that this here has a roll pin in it to lock that shaft in. This side does not. It just floats. So I think what was happening is it was having very slight movement or vibration when the machine was turned on and given a false reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this out here for 1/8 inch roll pin. So I'm going to use a 125 drill. This roll pin's actually, I think, 129, and I'm not going to drill into the rack itself just yet, because I don't know the location where it's mounted, because it's mounted on the knee. Now my x-axis, I was able to kind of fudge it. I just put the screw in, I locked it in the table, and I drilled it because the screw was the stopper basically for the shaft here, the rack. However, on the x-axis, this scale is mounted into the front T-slots. So if I had some room back and forth, if I had to adjust this. Now on the y-axis, these are screwed only in one position into the knee itself. So I got to get it right. So as I said, I'm just going to drill this out to where, you know, probably right there, and mount everything up, and then drill it by hand. I do have room on the knee, and drill it by hand, and then probably take it all out and hammer the roll pin in. So probably the next scene we'll have it set up on the Bridgeport, drilling this out, and then following along with the next scene will be drilling out with the hand drill, which I don't like doing, but I got to do it to get the location. I may just use this as a guide, the hole that's there, and just put a drill mark into the rack itself, and then do a final on the Bridgeport. But we'll see. It's brass, so it's soft. It's not hardened steel or anything like that, so it's pretty easy to drill. So I'm gonna set you up on the Bridgeport, and that'll be our next scene. Okay, so I got you at the Bridgeport right now, and we have this block end piece for the y-axis DRO scale locked up in the vise. I have it centered on this hole. When I say centered, I didn't use an edge finder on this because there's no need to. So this hole is in the center. I just took a transfer punch, turned it over, and just located the hole and found it to where it goes smoothly. So I'm as center as it could be right now. Again, I always say this, we're not building a space shuttle here. So we're just going to drill a hole here where I put a little mark, and I'm going to drill a hole with 125. And then once I do that, I'll set this back up on the table under here with that bracket that attaches to the Y side of the axis where it attaches to the knee. So once I drill this hole, I'll be able to set everything up. So first, I'm going to center drill my mark as close as it could be. That's about good right there. So I'm going to center drill that guy. It's aluminum. So I got a good center drill mark. And now we're going to drill 125 all the way through. through. And now I'm going to hook it all up, and then we're going to drill it by hand for the rest of the way to drill into the rack itself. Okay, everybody, this is the y-axis on the Bridgeport knee here. This is the block that I drilled a hole in right here. I couldn't film it because I was kind of contorted and I couldn't really mount the camera low enough. So I'm just holding the camera by hand. So this is going to be the roll pin. Going to go in here. I drilled it all the way through. I'm going to take this whole thing back out, clean it up, and get rid of that stupid tinfoil wire covering here as a shield. And I'm pretty sure I got this thing fixed. So I think this is going to conclude this video. Maybe on next videos I'll show that my digital readout is working properly. Every time I turn the switch on, I'll probably shoot the camera towards there where you can see it does not move anymore. But I have a couple more videos to come. I have I guess you'd say a slight collaboration with some other folks on YouTube. I'm working on something for somebody in the state of Washington. He sent me something to machine. I'm in Connecticut. And also somebody from Minnesota that I'm going to be making a part for to cure one of the issues they're having. So more to come on that. Thanks for watching. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is the last segment with this repair. I think I got it. It's not moving like it was. So I'll turn it on and off and see if we can get it to move or not. I'll go reverse. I must have done this about 100 times, moved it back and forth, set to 0, tried it again, and I have no false movement or incremental movement of the digital readout, so we think you got it. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe or comment. Any questions, just give me a comment. Thank you.